Hello, everyone. Jane here from Your Way Weight Loss. And today we're talking about June part one. Happy June, everyone. Happy June, Alicia.
Happy June. There's a lot of amazing things that happen in June.
Yeah, June is a good month. I mean, we were both teachers before, right? So June was a fun month as a high school teacher. Now, probably not the same thing as a elementary school teacher.
Oh, I mean, at that time of year, I was like, you guys have earned, because usually elementary school teachers would finish earlier in the day. And I'm like, you earned your early day dismissal for the fact that you still have to keep the humans happy in June.
Okay, so just quick conversation about all of that. I've always felt so we were always high school teachers, correct? You did teach smaller grades at the beginning of your career in all of the places you lived? Tell
I
us.
taught grade 7 up
Okay.
to grade 11.
Okay. So but I've always felt like that was and I was the person that was, the teacher in high school, and I could have been like, "Oh no, my work is hard as well," but nope, never felt that way. I was like, the elementary school teachers deserve double my pay. Like I've always been like, it's not fair. Like I almost felt bad about how great my life was as a teacher, to be honest. I was like, how is this fair? I would have never chosen. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
think it's also because your personality was meant for that style, right?
okay.
That age group, like little kids, and also the fact that you were good at math, like, you know what I mean? So that helped you to be that kind of a teacher. I mean, I, I felt like I worked really hard at the beginning of my career just because I was teaching the calculus. Like, so I did like really like no stuff.
Right. Nope. I had to know nothing. Like I just had to show up.
Yeah, you were like, let's add these fractions
Yeah.
for the 87th day.
Yes. Again, let's do it again. It's just like I guess it's just how that worked about Math 9 was just like a repetition of the same thing. I felt bad for the kids that are like, OMG, we have seen this and I'm like, that's the curriculum. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I just like really enjoyed my career as a teacher. Like I don't know if it's because I'm no longer there that I'm like, oh man, it was good. Like it was like a good I really enjoyed it, especially the last year team teaching. That was fun. And then like you said, like I still have always felt like walking into a school, the smell of it, the crowd, the like I was meant to be like I felt at home in a school. I felt like this is what I should be doing, right? And then Your Weight Loss took over. But it just like happened. I was as happy, like I was a happy teacher. I
Oh
really
yeah,
enjoyed it.
same. Filled
Yeah,
my
you
bucket.
also enjoyed it. Yeah. But anyway, it's one of those things where like I see them like even dropping off Dia this morning and like people are outside in the rain and
Oof.
like to like, and obviously we didn't teach in a pandemic. I can only imagine. I can
Oh,
only imagine.
you know what I'm thinking of right now is sometimes in June there's like really hot days, and I
Right.
remember like saying to Neil like, "Oh my gosh, everyone is smelly. It's so hot." And he's like, "What do you mean? There's not air conditioning?" I'm like, "No." Like the schools are
No,
not air conditioned,
no,
but
they are not.
remember the second floor,
Yeah.
how, like, in the afternoon,
Yeah.
all the grade 9s,
Grade
oh,
nines are stinky. I mean, I loved my grade nines, but they're in between of like, should I put on deodorant or should I not? Like
they
they're
are not
struggling.
in between. They are hard yes. Deodorant, hard yes.
Hard yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So today we're so this is part one. It's just part one of two parts, I guess, guys. So we're setting you up for success. We're getting you to think about what June means for you. And also it's the perfect time to sit and reflect on what the next few months will bring and usually bring. So today we're talking about expectations, and we're also going to remind you of the most important knowledge that you need for a successful, and again, we're going to talk about what that means. What is a successful summer, right? That's so relative and so different from one person. So that's our conversation today, guys.
Let's do it.
Let
So,
me take off my coat. All right.
before you think about what you want this summer. So, at the end of the day, okay, you can want weight loss, weight maintenance, weight gain. You can choose any of those things. You are the boss of your life, right? So, before you kind of think, oh, what do I want? We want you to think about what's happened in the past. because it's all good to say, oh, yeah, I want to lose 20 pounds. But what usually happens? Because maybe that's not a reasonable goal for you.
There's that piece to it. And then there's the other piece of like, you want weight loss, but do you want what that means? Like having that
Exactly.
conversation. Absolutely.
So before get into this, what are your summers usually?
Mhm.
What do they usually include? So for me, when I was really struggling with my weight, my summers were hard. I went to summer camp and I wasn't a kid, I worked there, and it was chicken nuggets on tap, fresh baked chocolate chip cookies every day. You would have gained 75 pounds in that
Yeah,
summer. Like,
that's my language. That's my drug. That's like exactly like chicken nuggets and like that all the food that is beige, very much what I love.
and in a big bowl on your table for as much as you want to eat.
Yeah, exactly. So we all know how Jose loves volume. Those scenarios would have been really bad. I would have gained those significant amount of weight for sure.
I think I probably gained 20 pounds every summer.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, and I remember, I mean, I found a photo recently of for sure my heaviest, and I wasn't weighing myself then, and I was for sure at 250 pounds right after camp, and I just remember how I felt, like, so discouraged with myself, so stuffed, so uncomfortable in my body. So, obviously the reason why you're having this conversation is we don't want you guys to feel I don't want you to finish your summer feeling that way.
Yeah. And I can just imagine also your thought process behind like how you felt like just like also probably you were like saying a lot of excuses or reasons why like, oh, it's just so hard for me because I'm at camp and like they just give us like I have access to all this food like it's just like so hard for me, so I'm sure there was like tons of limiting beliefs as well behind what was happening.
Do you know what was one of probably the worst things I think about it is that I always went in every summer with unrealistic expectations. So I went and be like, "Oh, this summer I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to eat salad and not one cookie." So I went in with unreasonable expectations. I was basically setting myself up for failure.
Yeah. Do you
If I
think
would
also
have
there was a lack of knowledge, like also the knowledge piece that we're going to talk about today? Like obviously you didn't know like it's that piece too, and let's have that conversation. It's that piece that sometimes I want people to realize that like you don't have to be in a surplus of thousands. It's like that piece that I really want people to understand. And sometimes I see people that I know that they that are overweight or even in obese, category of obesity, and I see them kind of like just letting go of even just caring like, oh well, it's either I'm starving and I want to be thin or I'm here and not even like you can also stop the gain. It's like
yeah.
that piece of the stopping the gain is also a step in the journey.
And like I knew what I was consuming.
Okay.
Do you know what was the thing for me? Every day the diet was going to start the next day.
Okay.
So, I'm going to eat all the things right now, lose control, completely overeat super stuff because tomorrow it's lettuce. And
Okay.
basically that cycle almost every single day.
And I'm sure like lettuce was probably not like was it even there? Like
Oh yeah,
did you have
actually,
access? Okay.
yeah, by the end of my career, they had like an epic salad bar. I'm not saying it was easy to make healthy choices, but let's say Alicia, 2021 Alicia, I would go and certainly be not gain 20 pounds. I might gain
Yeah.
5, but
Yes.
I would be able to manage it. So it wasn't that it wasn't manageable. It was my mindset. It
Yeah.
was my mindset.
Yeah. And I do think that like when you're feeling discouraged and whatever, there's a lot of drama that comes with it and lack of knowledge. There is lack of knowledge. It's not knowledge like that you didn't know that, you know, nuggets are high in calories. Like it's not that kind of knowledge, just the knowledge of like, if I overindulge, there is a way that I can balance this. Like just like I guess that inner conversation, like that maturity. It's like almost like that yeah, it's an emotional maturity that I think that people don't have when it comes to weight loss, weight gain, weight maintenance, is that conversation people aren't having with themselves. So like Alicia said, step 1, what is reasonable? What is a reasonable expectation? And the only way you can decide that is by looking back and knowing more about yourself. So for us at Your Weight Loss, we've actually created a summer self-assessment for our members. So that's super exciting for them. I'm pretty sure probably most of our members have done it. I've done it as well. And it really is fun to look back, but also to start thinking about, what do I want this summer? And we also really prompted them to write down what that means.
I'm sorry, as much as filling in like a little bit is really frou-frou-y for me, like I'm like so action focused and not
Right.
enough mindset focused. So the actual act of me sitting down and writing out like what usually happens, what do I actually want? What is that going to mean to me? That was an amazing exercise for me to set myself up for success this summer.
Absolutely. And you know what? Like, it's like we sit there and we say we want something without thinking of what that means. What are the actions attached to that certain result? So we really dig deep and we're like, okay, you guys, like if you say, of course, everyone wants weight loss this summer. Like if you're giving me a choice and I just have a crystal ball, I'll choose that. But do I want to, let's say create a deficit this summer? Oh, and creating a deficit, what does that mean? Well, not an ice cream every day,
I was
or
going to
not,
say,
yeah.
do you want to say no to ice cream? Do you want to not have the spontaneity? That's what I love about summers, the
Yeah.
spontaneity of it's a beautiful day, come over for a barbecue. Do you want to drink less beer? Do you want to, you need to really think about not just what you want on the scale, but how that will impact your lifestyle and be honest with yourself. Like be honest. For you, the thought of like limiting your ice cream in the summer, you're like, no, Mousy.
No, absolutely. I'll choose maintenance. I'll choose what that means. And I was thinking the other day, I was on Instagram, the Q&A with Josie, and someone asked, what are your non-negotiables? And my non-negotiables were not things. They were not like ice cream. What does that mean? Like for me, non-negotiables are like life and experience stuff. So I said non-negotiable date night, kid bites, and it being my way. Like that is a non-negotiable for me. Like feeling deprived, non-negotiable. No, 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 no. I do not feel deprived. So see how like you need to be at a different level when someone asks you what's your non-negotiable. I didn't even go into like food because I like different foods, different days. Like, you know what I mean? Like what is worth it, what is not. Depends on the scenario, depends on the context, depends on where I'm at, what's offered, what's there. So it's like, no, what's non-negotiable for me is feeling deprived. And what's non-negotiable for me is not being able to be so spontaneous because that makes me feel deprived,
Yeah.
Um,
And maybe
so
your non-negotiables in the summer is, going camping, going boating with your friends, having friends over for a barbecue, going on vacation. Like those are lifestyle things that happen in the summer.
Yes. And I love that you brought up the spontaneity conversation because there is way more spontaneity and random invites and random things that we have some great question of the day for the summer because you guys, if you don't know, as a member, you also can ask us anything. And we have a question of the day every single day from Monday to Thursday. And so we've like picked up some summer questions and that was one of them. Like, how can I be invited somewhere, enjoy myself, and participate in the invitation? And I think the part of the question she was asking was like, how do I not feel guilty? How do I live my life spontaneously? So obviously we're giving tons of strategies for that to our members, but please think of that when you're making your goal, guys.
And I need to tell you guys that if 5 years ago, Alicia was listening to this podcast, I would be like, that's not possible. Like I truly believed that in order to achieve my summer goals, I would have had to give up all of my favorite things. And like now I've spent years living my summer life, achieving my goals. And I'm like, wow, is this real life? Like I am able to do everything I actually want and still achieve my goals. Like
Yeah.
it's possible. And like you said, we have a trillion actual strategies that we're offering our members this summer.
And when Alicia says like still actually achieve my goals, she's not saying achieve a weight loss goal. Her goal goes perfectly with how she wants to live her life. So her goal is probably maintenance this summer. So she's like, wow, I can go camping. I can have, amazing fun things with my family and not gain 20 pounds. Goal, that's success. That is your definition of success for this summer.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's the first piece, you guys. So that's the first piece of June that we want you to start thinking about. The next piece of this podcast is really knowledge. So it's a good time for you to step back and really refocus on the things you know about weight gain, weight loss, and weight maintenance right now, you guys, because you have a lot of power. You have a lot of, you should feel empowered. You should not feel scared about summer or anxious because you are in charge. So part 2 of the one about June, it will be a bunch of strategies to help you, I guess, create your best summer and really reminding you of calorie surplus, calorie deficit, and all that. But right now, for the next 5-ish minutes, we are going to talk about calorie awareness. And we're going to talk about the difference between calorie deficit, calorie surplus, and food labeling. I think we should hit those 2 things.
Oh,
I know it's a lot.
5 minutes. Ooh.
I know. Okay, let's do 10.
Okay.
We have all the time we want, whatever. They're listening. They're loving it. I know it.
Okay. So where should we start? So calorie awareness. This is like a superpower, you guys. And maybe because it's June, you're eating food that you haven't been eating, so it's time for you to look at those labels. And I actually had someone ask me, how do you go to a barbecue and not eat hot dogs? And I was like, I mean, actually, I don't eat hot dogs because I don't like them, but they're actually not that many calories if you get a regular hot dog. And a white bun is like 100 calories. Go for it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like,
so
if
I
that's
just want to
important to
hop in
you.
look at those 2 things. Calorie awareness. So if she had more calorie awareness on hot dogs, she would not be labeling. It's the label of a hot dog is bad. And it's not even if she were to create better calorie awareness. See how they really go well together?
Now, obviously, with this conversation we're having right now, guys, is not about nutrient dense food and health and all that. We are very aware that hot dogs are not the best quality food. We are very aware that Wonder Bread is not the best quality, but we've always been honest with you guys, and we will. And I think it is unrealistic to teach people how to lose weight and tell them to eliminate all those things. It is 2021. We live in North America. People are crushing hot dogs. So let's set reasonable expectations about their hot dogs.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm glad you talked about that because sometimes I'm like, I did get I guess a bad rep for promoting the M&M protein bar.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I wasn't even promoting it. I was just like, I really enjoy this one. It tastes really good. Like that's it, right? I'm like, it's a good go, grab and go, and never said the word healthy. And even
No.
I can say whatever, I can say whatever I want. If for me that's healthier than maybe a Kit Kat, but it has the same amount of calories close to, and it has more protein. But at the end of the day, you guys don't get caught up in that piece of the puzzle. There's a puzzle right now and it's obesity. And there's tons of things that we need to attack. And there is fat on people's bodies that is dangerous. And I think that we need to also, and it's 2021. So we're trying to allow humans to live in 2021 with less fat on their bodies. That is not dangerous. Can't we just do that, you guys?
Like, it's exhausting. And obviously, we promote healthy, nutrient dense foods. Like, that makes it the bulk of our diet. But when you tell people that that's what they have to do, you're missing the mark. And they are going to put all their focus into all of that and maybe not lose weight and then be so discouraged. So, how about we educate people? We give people the power of just awareness, and then you choose, and you will naturally, and maybe 2 years into your journey, you'll start eating more fruits and vegetables, but you've lost the 60 pounds. Like, let's let people figure their lives out for themselves.
Yes. Amen.
Okay.
And sometimes people think like, oh, she doesn't eat that because it's not healthy. I'm like, no, because I don't like it. We've lost that sight as well. Like we think we need to eat certain foods because they're labeled a certain way. Anyway, so calorie awareness, what it's going to help you do this summer is not, calorie awareness is not going to help you eat more salads. That's not what we're saying, more salads than fries. It's just being aware so that you can choose where you're spending your budget. And let's think about let's think budget money wise. You spend money on camping and whatever. Some people buy campers. I don't spend money on campers, right? So I use my money and my budget doing something else in the summer and spend it a different way. And at the end of the day, like it's a season and we act differently in the summer. We live differently in the summer. And we can't just sit here and think that it's going to be the same as January 1st. Like it's just not.
No, that's not a reasonable goal.
Are you
But
eating fried clams in January? Probably not. It's not the season for fried clams and poutine, you know? So that's just what it is. And how can you live your life and do the seasonal things without gaining 20 pounds?
and calorie awareness is going to be a massive piece of that. And I just want to say, like, we talked about bad food a little bit with the hot dog and the bun. Let's talk about good food. Recently making smoothie bowls, legit looked up recipes online for fun. I put them in my Fitness Pal, over 1,000 calories for a smoothie bowl of some of these recipes. And again, obviously tons of nutrient dense ingredients in there, but tons of calories. So we need to stop labeling food as good or bad. And we just need to create awareness around that food, and then you choose.
I do think like the industry and society is like kind of, and it's no one's fault, just the industry in itself or society or just culture has really done a bad job with helping humans be healthier. I'm sorry. Like that's why humans are obese right now, because they're confused. And let's unconfuse ourselves. And I've had the comment in the past of like, yes, I might be obese, but I'm eating only nutrient dense foods. I'm like, but excess fat on your organs is also dangerous and unhealthy. So I'm sorry, like there's that piece. Yes, I might be eating a freaking M&M protein bar and you're eating real fruit, but there is health on the fact that I don't have that excess fat on my body versus yours. Like it's just what it is. We've like undervalued that piece of the excess fat on our organs.
I know. Let's go to that study of that professor who ate only Twinkies for like 30 days and lost weight, and he tracked like his blood pressure and and all his markers increased like successfully, like they got better because of the weight loss. So obviously he wasn't eating nutrient dense food. He was eating only Twinkies. So it's a balancing act. They're both important. But at the end of the day, and it's not about how you look, guys. That's not or the size that you wear, how much you weigh. It's that if you have that extra fat on your body, that's concerning to your health. Like there is a obesity epidemic in North America. That is the problem. Yeah. And we also, guys, we just want you to feel better. We want you to enjoy your life. Like summer is not a fun time when you are uncomfortable in your body.
Done. It's not about abs, Lo. Like let's stop. No, it's about you learning more so that you can live the life that you deserve to live. Okay. Yeah. You deserve to like not be sweating just because you're putting on clothes. That is not what a human body was put on this earth to do. Sweat when they're dressing up. Like, so just like recognizing those things. I mean, we're kind of a little bit off topic, but not really. At the end of the day, this is all related to you knowing more about who you want to be. And that includes the type of food you enjoy and what you value. And don't let the industry, tell you what you should value.
Because at the end of the day as well, if you start eating, all of this fancy health food, but you don't actually like it or value it, you're not going to sustain it. Yeah. So really focus on what is sustainable. And that's going to be stuff that aligns with your values, your goals. And just the calorie awareness piece is you educating yourself on what's worth it to you. Yeah. I mean, a quick plug in the summer, it's so important for you guys to also be aware of what alcohol is going in your body. That's where I come in, and I've been working behind the scenes, and I have every week for the 10 weeks, I have a drink recipe coming out that's not a gajillion calories. And you know what, guys? Create calorie awareness around what you're drinking as well. I'm not saying change anything. I'm just saying create calorie awareness so you get to decide, do I want to spend 1,000 of my calories on these Radlers? The answer is yes, carry on. If the answer is no, look for an alternative.
Yeah. So right now, you guys, we have actually a Euro weight loss special. So it's 10 weeks for $99. And what we're trying to do is really, we want to help people have access to success this summer. And
Yes.
I do think that that is exactly what Euro weight loss does, especially in the summer. It's giving you access to ideas, strategies, recipes, accountability, support, advice, like staying connected to what you said you wanted. So obviously we've been working so hard for our current members, for our members, to allow them the best summer ever, to feel successful. And we give them the power to decide what that means for them. So success for Alicia and I is maintenance. Honestly, that is what success is right now for us. And I think most of the members, that is what they're going to choose, because we're being transparent with them. We're not selling this weird idea of like, let's crush our summer. Let's like rock summer bodies. Like, what? No, let's crush. You're going to crush some beers. I'm going to crush some ice cream.
Yes.
And we're going to live in these bodies that we have today, because we're here. Here we are. We're talking about body image. We're talking about all those things. And we're just trying to have fun. We're also living our best lives. Like, that's so important for us to, I guess, to create that content for our members.
I mean, yes, I feel
Yes.
like this might be the best podcast episode we've ever had.
I agree. So you guys, come find us on Instagram. We've been obviously promoting that 10-week membership. It's something we've never done. Usually it's monthly, whatever, but like, we're like, you know what? We want them to really commit to what summer means. And so because it's a 10-week membership, we're doing 10 recipes, 10 drinks sent to you via email. So we always know that people love that. But all of our meetings every week are really fun, and topics that you absolutely, more strategies, more what's the word I'm looking for, more
Tips, concrete, like,
yes, concrete.
like how day trips, camping, beach. Like, we're going to talk about barbecue. We're going to give you all the tips, all the mindset stuff that you need to do all of those fun things in the summer, and get your success, whatever that means to you.
Yeah, exactly. I do think that your weight loss will add value to your summer. Like, you're going to be so happy you did this. Our members are so excited. Okay. So find us on all of our platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok under Your Way Weight Loss. And join us on our website, yourwayoursupport.com. Send us an email, send us a DM, ask us anything, and join us for summer fun with J&A, guys.
Here for it.
Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.